He talked about ensuring that we endeavor on the practice. And what we want to hear from you young people is to give us the practice of the government interventions in your respective areas. We have people from Lakai, we have people from Fort Otto, we have people from Gulu, we have people from Mbarala, and also Padel. We want to hear from you. How are these interventions? I'm trying to buy time for the technician Arthur to connect for Dr. Ssewakiryanga. Now, after the presentation from Mr. Ssewakiryanga, then we shall do a break, which will be for a few minutes, and then come back as things that can help them to get employed. Doctor, I'm sorry I took some of your minutes. Please consider them the remaining time that you have.
Thank you very much, Ashraf, for the good moderation. I want to thank Open Space for convening us. Wakib and his team, thank you very much. You are doing a great job. Me who saw them when they were even younger, when I see that they can convene many people like this, I am happy. Because I think I saw the 15 years as they grew into a large and powerful organization. So please give Open Space a big hand. Reason being that many organizations die very early. So when you see an organization that has stayed on, that is really, really something we should celebrate. Once again, my name is Richard Ssewakiryanga. Yes, I am at the Center for Basic Research, but also I spent time supporting the Office of the Prime Minister as a technical advisor, because these days we no longer have enough money in NGOs to pay for all our expenses. We have to make sure we do what the Honorable Mukitari has been telling us, which is to become more entrepreneurial. But having said that, I also want to, in a very, very special way, thank Honorable Mukitari for what he has done for us, which is to really give us a very good insight through this keynote. And please give him a hand clap. I know him from a long time. We are on the same university nearly at the same time. He is a person who is passionate about economics and the economy and how things work, and I think that he has demonstrated it in terms of his out-of-the-box thinking. So what I'm going to do today is there is a full paper, a 20-page paper that we developed on this whole question of youth transition to employment, and we call it Youth Transition to Employment and Government Youth Interventions. So we looked at what does youth transition mean, but also what has the government in place put in place in terms of programs, but also what are some of the global best practices we can borrow from, and then we have a few key messages that we shall, go on to interrogate as we go along. Now, first is to say that, as I said, this focus is really on transition, and we examine the whole question of how youth transit from school to employment. All of you, I think, who are here know that many of us are never prepared to transit from school to employment. Sometimes you finish a degree and you feel lost. You walk around the streets, you carry your CV, which is half a page, because you have not done anything. You try and convince old men like me, I know how to write. I used to find this funny. I would ask people when I used to be executive director at NGO Forum, so what book are you reading now that you have finished school? I say, I'm reading the newspapers and the Bible. I say, no, you can't go to somebody and you are looking for a job, and the only book you are reading is the newspapers and the Bible. But that tells you the crisis in terms of how young people are prepared. So really this paper goes a little bit into those issues. And we have three purposes. I'm sorry, this is a small screen. I thought there would be a bigger screen. So I hope the people at the back will see, but if you can't, I'll explain as much as I can. So there are three purposes. One, we want to analyze youth transition, then we want to assess the effectiveness of some of the programs that are in place, and lastly, we want to also be able to present some policy options and messages in terms of what can be done. The significance of this is threefold. One is that youth employment is really an area that is important for us to think about. Why? Because this country is largely a youth country. And indeed, if you think about it as a youth country, then one of the things we have to do is to ensure that we have a clarity at policy level on how these youth can be supported to play a role in national growth of the country and in the stability of the country. Because we know the flip side. If there is no stability, if there is no plan for young people, at least you know there will be plan for chaos. Okay? The second thing is that the economic potential of youth is something that we must unlock. Ladies and gentlemen, some countries are struggling because their populations, the productive life of their population is so narrow. They have men like me and they call them middle-aged men, and they are 55. Yeah? Okay? But in Uganda, when you are 55, we call you an old man. Okay? Because in this country, you will have young people between the ages of 18 and who are going to work up to 60, and they are 70%. So in terms of the people that we